があるとマイクみたいになりたい。でも電話してくれない。オークランドとブックレンドから世界チャンピオンバーチャルプローズ始まるよ。バーチャルプローズ。
To my motherfucking man, 50 grand, the alcoholic man, inject a tall can in his bloodstream if he can. Biggie Smalls, the 50 stroker, MC provoker, chocolate tie smoker. Huh? I like to max and Maximas and Acuras. Your girl butt cheeks, I'm smacking. Huh? The raw rapper, spine snapper with the little, cause all my lap a shot, the ball, I ain't your fucking comforter. And if I ever fall in love, I bet I'm fucking her.
Episode 126 of That World Champion Sound, Virtual Pros. My name is Al, aka Henny Omega, aka I'm so bummed that this mic is like for real broken. That's not a good aka, but it is what it is. And with me, my main oos, Mike.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mike. Just in case you can't hear, we're still on the Poor Person podcast train of Al using his laptop mic as if this was a podcast from 2008, but we got to do what you got to do sometimes, so to please the people.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. I'm getting tired of Mike calling me poor, so tomorrow I'll be going to Best Buy and I'm getting a new mic. I feel like, I mean, I don't know. You can still hear me with it, but anyway, this mic talk is not interesting at all. But what is interesting is today's topic, and that's the 2021 buy, sell, or hold episode. Mike and Al give their future forecasts and guidances on what to go all in on and what to sell off in the world of professional wrestling. Hit us on Instagram and Twitter at VRTL Pros. Hit us on iTunes, Spotify. If you want to come and talk some shit, hit one of us for the Discord invite. And if you want to participate on the show, email us at virtualpros64@gmail.com. Mike, we got a flurry of emails in the past couple of hours, which was pretty, it was welcome to see, honestly. So do you mind starting off with that first one?
Sure. Hold on a second. Sorry, I had a sneeze. Oof.
It's okay.
I was holding it in. Woo! First one's from DC. It's entitled Wrestling Games. What's up, fellas? AKA Grayson Allen Iverson, AKA Dakota Ibushi, AKA Steve Mongo McMichael Vicks Vapor Rub. Much like how peak women's wrestling took place almost 30 years ago, All Japan Women's. Oh, that's in parentheses, sorry. It seems like pro wrestling games haven't progressed in over 20 years. Things I would like to see in modern games that seem like they're easy fixes. CPU logic. I really don't understand how modern WWE games don't have CPU logic tendencies when we were introduced with this technology in 1996. Edit ratings and rosters in NBA 2K and WWE 2K. Or I edit ratings and rosters. The NBA 2K series allows the user to edit everything, but the WWE 2K, so many things are locked and unable to be edited. While editing the ratings in WWE 2K allows the game to be more playable, it feels so incomplete without having access to CPU logic. Camera angles. King of Colosseum allowed us to watch computer versus computer matches with different camera angles. The mods in Fire Pro World allowed so many different camera angles. I hate that we have to use this stock hard cam in modern WWE 2K games. It's so damn annoying because new camera angles can add so much life to the sports title. Is this really too much to ask for? I don't know how video game production works, but it's just, I've said it before, but it's just so crazy to me how kind of advanced for sports games NBA 2K is compared to WWE 2K. I know it's two different studios, but I mean, I guess, after a while, people stop playing the EA NBA game. And they just kind of got rid of it. I think it's back now, but that's the only stinker they've had. They keep all their games kind of on the same level. So it's weird that 2K is just whatever. The wrestling one could suck. It doesn't matter.
That's a pretty controversial take about women's wrestling peaking 30 years ago. I kind of think we're in the peak right now, man, personally. But yeah, I agree with you. It'd be kind of interesting to mess around with CPU logic and I don't know, just push like.
I think I mean, honestly, I think that's just a little too nerdy for probably the mainstream customer fan base of wrestling games. But still, I mean, it is something where it's like it's probably a fairly easy thing to leave in the game to fix, but they just don't want to do it.
Dude, all wrestling fans in 2021 are hardcore nerds. There's no one walking into buy 2K game casually like it's fucking Call of Duty. I don't buy that at all. They should just do it. Next email is from Rob, titled From Rob. Hey, Vrtl Bros. I'm going through a bad breakup, but you guys get me through these 2 hours every 2 weeks. Anyways, if you guys could get a third podcast mate for a show or two, regardless of the language barrier, who would it be? Yours cruelly, Rob, aka Curry Blanchard, aka The Sweet Life of Schlack and Cody. My dream, third chair, Doan from Kissing Contest. That would be the fucking best. If you haven't listened to Mike's, former podcast. Kissing Contest. It's a great show if you like movies, or even if you don't like movies. Like, I barely watch movies, but I tuned into Kissing Contest pretty faithfully. If it was a wrestler, who could we have as a third? My dream, maybe a Kathy Kelly. Maybe that'd be pretty fun. I enjoy her insight into pro wrestling. So Kathy Kelly, or if anyone knows Kathy Kelly, hit us up.
Yeah, I would probably go with Jim Cornette. No, I'm just kidding. I would not go with Jim Cornette. No, I'd probably go with Doan too. I don't like doing podcasts with people I don't really know. And I enjoy doing podcasts with Doan, so that's going to be my pick too. Sorry for the boring pick. I would not want to do a podcast with a wrestler ever. So there's your answer for that.
Well, like, it doesn't have to be a wrestler. What if Joey Styles was like, "What's going on? Been a vert bag forever. Can I get on?"
Yeah,
we're not going to turn him down, right?
Yeah, Joey Styles, that's cool. Non-wrestler guy in the business, like a Dr. Keith. A Dr. Keith could be the third guy. There you go. He's in the biz, but he's not a wrestler.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
From Drapinski to Lipinski, I think that'd be like the sub show. That'd be fucking sick.
Next email is from Cole, wrestling question. Hey, Mike and Al, we all know the stories of wrestlers accidentally pooping their pants in the ring, but which ones do you think poop their pants outside of the ring? Thanks, Cole, a.k.a. Psycho Sid. No, sorry. A.k.a. Psycho Skid, a.k.a. a.k.a. Anonymous Raw BM, a.k.a. Kenta in the yellow and brown trunks. That's a good question. I mean, I don't really think about wrestlers that poop their pants outside of the ring. I mean, I have a hunch this guy named The Undertaker has probably pooped his pants outside of the ring a few times. I've heard he's on Twitter all the time trying to say that some other man named Mr. Brown is pooping in his pants, but I think it's easy to track it down. I guess to follow the tracks, the skin marks. And it's probably The Undertaker pooping his own pants. So I'm going to say The Undertaker, definitely.
How do you expect us to follow up with Anonymous Rob BM, Cole? Like, you already fucking won here with the email. I don't know why, but Mia Yim's name popped up in my head. Thinking about people. Someone please cut that reaction of Mike, and let's make that a soundboard clip. That'd be incredible. Next email is from Mark.
My butt, my hole.
Titled Pro Wrestling Food Pairings. As a teenager, I would watch WrestleMania with friends at my house. My Lola would take the opportunity to cook. So when I had my 5 friends come over and watch my brother's friends came, Lola showed out. Like lumpia, toron, pancit, pork liempo, some barbecue, and all that. Nowadays, I just sort of watch wrestling and eat whatever snacks are around. So what kinds of foods do you guys eat while watching wrestling? Is it a meal, or is it just a nibble? I do find that tonkatsu ramen is always a good one. By the way, Al, I did use the Sapporo soup packet with my shin ramen. It was fire. Damn! I'm glad to hear that, dude. I'm pumped. Mark, a.k.a. Hot Sasuke, a.k.a. the Minoru Cutie Suzuki, a.k.a. Katsuyori Shibata, a.k.a. the King Corbin Blue. Man, I know for AEW, this past Sunday, my brother and I, we got wings. And I think like the default meal for like a big pay-per-view has always been either wings or pizza. So, man, eating Filipino food hasn't been like a move I've done in a while watching wrestling. That's just going to be something that I focus on at the dinner table. I'm not going to watch Dean Ambrose while eating, my adobo. But yeah, probably pizza or wings. I like to kind of junk out while watching wrestling. So those are my two picks.
Yeah, I would also go with pizza. That's just the easy one because if you're watching with other people, it's always like the best cheap option for food for a bunch of people, and you don't have to worry about fucking $300 fucking delivery bill or anything like that. So it's usually always pizza. Even if I'm alone, I'm just kind of conditioned to that. Last Sunday, if you guys haven't heard, Little Caesars brought back the pretzel pizza, which is very, very good. So I got that, and they also have a stuffed crust version, so I got that too, and it's too heavy, man. Little Caesars is like, I honestly think it's like out of the big four fast food pizza places, I think it's the second best, but it's it's still fast food pizza, so it was enjoyable, but I had a lot of pizza for lunch the next day, basically, but yeah, so pizza.
Yo, Mark, you write it a lot, Mark, so I want to get your take on Turon. Do you like it with or without jackfruit? Let me know, and if you pick the wrong answer, I'm never going to read your emails on the show again. So pick wisely.
Next email is from Emilio. Randy Orton owns an Urlacher jersey Hayabusa rocked Mike Vick. Sup, Mike and Al. I'm sure that Randy Orton Soldier Boy beef is already in two-man scramble, but I've got to know from two music pros, what real rap music from the mid-2000s do you think Randy Orton listens to? Also, can you think of a profession or fandom more sensitive than professional wrestling? 1 year into lockdown, three more to go. Stay strong, pros. Did Randy Orton say he listened to mid-2000s rap music? Is that like a thing? Or is he just saying that? I
didn't draw from those tweets while they were fighting that Randy Orton was super down with mid-aughts rap.
Yeah, it's only like like a year ago, Randy Orton was still posting memes about how if we let God into public schools, there wouldn't be school shootings. So I don't, this new turn of Randy Orton being like a relatable person is pretty new. So I don't think he was listening to rap music probably ever in his life. And if he was, it was definitely Eminem. It was always going to be Eminem. So definitely Eminem.
I was going to say, right? Like, 'cause I think he did some military service. So for sure, like that Marshall Mathers LP didn't leave his Camaro for a couple of years. I mean, I do get the vibe that he was really, really into new metal. Like when Hybrid Theory dropped, I bet he played that shit nonstop. So I don't really get the vibe that he was listening to an LP or ASAP Rock or any real hip hop. But that's the vibe I get from Randy Orton personally.
And I don't think I think maybe the anime crowd is maybe more sensitive than professional wrestling crowd, but I don't know. It's pretty tough. Professional wrestling people are like, I don't know enough about anime, so I don't know if it's like this too, but in wrestling, it's like all people tweet about is how much they hate wrestling. And then some like normal person is like, man, wrestling is dumb. And they're just like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. And it's like, dude, you fucking say that shit all day. Like, it's just because a normal person says it doesn't mean it's not true. So I don't know. They do get sensitive when that shit comes up though.
For me, diving into the card world, I think card people might be equally as sensitive as pro wrestling fans, especially the people that like open cards for people. They like talk shit all the time about like other people's prices, like their allocations. And I'm like, why the fuck do you care, man? Like just break your cards and like talk to people, like, and, cultivate your own audience. That crowd is fucking petty, dude. So, I don't know if they're more sensitive than wrestling fans, cause we're a pretty sensitive bunch, but card people they're some freaks, man. It's crazy. Next email is from my brother, Keith, titled King's Road Bathroom, excuse me. Hey, Al and Rich Cracker and Soccer Hooligan Mike. What the fuck, man? I'm a soccer hooligan too, man. I'm the one that was pitching that shit. At the end of next month, I'll be moving my family 4 blocks south to the Gold Coast, asterisk, of my fair suburb. Don't want to name the burb, as I'm worried about stalkers. Anyway, the biggest perk about moving is the fact that I will have my own bathroom like my hero Al Bundy. Anyway, I have questions. 1, I obviously need a urinal, right? 2, should I decorate it in a 1990s all-Japan theme and call it the King's Road Spa? If so, is there any place that can get me a giant Baba shower curtain? Yours in love, Dr. Keith Trapinski, EVP Talent Relations, AAW Pro Wrestling. What a flex. Number 1, wait. Okay, you have a family, Keith. How do you have your own bathroom? That's crazy. So your wife has her own separate bathroom as well? Dude, houses in Chicago are fucking nuts, Mike. Is this a thing over there or what?
we were, my girlfriend is just like, that's all she does. I think that's a lady thing, honestly, is just like browsing real estate like all the time. And we found a place that was like, it had like 3 bathrooms. And I was just like, we could have a fucking bathroom for the cats. That's crazy. Like, so yeah, I guess there's some places that like that. They're just like real bathroom friendly in the Chicago area, I guess.
That's weird, dude. Like,
Yeah,
I've never
weird.
had any hang-ups with like sharing a bathroom with my fucking significant other.
Yeah, it's super weird, man. It's super weird. Now he probably, I mean, he has like a house because he's in the suburbs, so it's probably like a basement bathroom or something in his man cave.
If anything, I like sharing like a bathroom with my sig other, dude. Like to keep it all nice. The towels are very soft and everything. Like, I don't know, man. In terms of needing a urinal, yeah, I guess I think that'd be more of a thing if you were just a bachelor, though. Like, I've been kind of in the market too, looking to move, and my dream like toiletry item would be a bidet. I would take a bidet over a urinal all fucking day long, twice on Sundays. So I would go bidet personally, over urinal. They're probably harder to upkeep, but that's my choice. In terms of decorating your bathroom in the style of 1990s All Japan, see, this is an argument for me wanting to share a bathroom with a significant other because they can check you on ideas like this, Keith. So don't do that at all.
I would rather have a ghost in my house than a urinal. That's just like, I don't know, man. That's fucking weird.
How about a piss trough? Would you want one of those?
Oh my god, no, that's even worse. There is a club in Albany that we used to play or like book shows at too, and they had one of those, and I would just go piss outside. I'd just like I don't know. Like, I mean, there's no real difference, I guess, from pissing outside or in a trough, but I'm just like, this is so weird, man. Like, just thinking about pissing into a big tub of other people's piss is just like, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna go pee outside in the alley. It's way easier, way less weird.
I don't mind it, but like when it's like popping, like if you're like out on a Friday night and you're shoulder to shoulder at the piss trough, like that's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
But like if I'm solo dolo, then I don't really care. I'll pee anywhere. I'm like a dog.
Yeah, and I guess decorate the bathroom. If you really have a basement bathroom in your man cave, Dr. Keith, I would say go for it. You might as well. You know, now you got to put up the porno centerfolds all over the wall too. That's a good look. Next email is from Tim. Pro wrestling Easter eggs. What's good, Vert Bags? Over the pandemic, I got back into video games, especially Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. One day I noticed on the Hugo level there was the All Japan Triple Crown belts and Globe Trophy in the background. My mind has been blown ever since. My question is, what are your favorite pro wrestling Easter eggs that you found in a video game, TV show, or movie? Yours truly, the Mushmaster, aka Carl Botch, aka Kazuyuki Fujita. Then he included a mixtape suggestion. Thank you. I will look at that. I guess it's not really an Easter egg because it's pretty out in the open, but it's either Yakuza 4 or 5. It might be 4. It's one of those. It's one of the PS3 ones. So it was before the New Japan, all that shit. there's like a side story where you like help like an old wrestler. I think it's supposed to be Onita. I think you can make a case that it's supposed to be Onita, and you help him like get back on his feet and put a wrestling show together for kids or some shit like that. And at the time, this was before like I knew people besides like a handful of people I've known that even liked that franchise, and it was way before it was like a fucking internet meme too. So I was just like shocked because like I didn't hear about this or anything, and I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. There's like a wrestling storyline in this, and it has to be like about Onita or somebody like in that mold. They might have taken like traits from other wrestlers too, but so that was pretty shocking at the time. But I mean, obviously later on they did like New Japan stuff, and everybody loves the franchise. But at that time, I was pretty shocked by that.
Excuse my co-host, Mike. It's Kazuyuki Fajita. I think that he.
Oh, that makes more sense. That's what. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so No More Heroes was developed by Suda51. He did a game before that called Super Fire Pro.
Yeah,
it had a pretty controversial ending, but in that game, I think someone is wearing a crew neck or a sweater of some sort, and it has the Gongs logo. Now, Gongs was the fake promotion in Fire Pro that represented rings.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I'm a fucking nerd.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. Did not know that.
That's one that he slipped in, and I thought that was pretty sick. Last email is from Adrian, titled Hair Business. Hey, virtual perverts. I always thought Too Cold Scorpio would have looked infinitely better with a shaved head. Who do y'all think would look better with a shaved head? And who do you think had the best transformation into a shaved dome? Hard to top Stone Cold, but what say you? Stay dangerous. Adrian. Wait, I think Too Cold Scorpio already has a shaved head. I mean, now, right? Or he's had one before, I feel like. Or did I imagine that, Mike?
I mean, he's already always had it pretty closely shaved. I mean, I guess there was a minute he had kind of a fade, but I think later on it was pretty close to the skull.
Who do I think would look better with a shaved head currently? I don't know. Who's like... Oh, I got it. Dean Ambrose. Just drop the top, Dean. Like, if you're listening right now, just fucking shave it. You look way better. And this might be a hot take, but in terms of who had the best transformation, I know Stone Cold is up there for sure. He might be the best, but I think a close 1A is Kurt Angle. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, that's true. Kurt Angle's a real good one. It's hard, like, anytime you see him in a flashback with hair, he looks like such a fucking dork. I mean, I know that was like his character for a little while, but he's definitely like, if he kept his hair, he would have just always been a dork. So it's really good he shaved his head, or he went bald. Before I forget, there is a question in the Discord, so I'll get to that after this. But I was actually going to say, as far as transformation, I was going to say Dean Ambrose for transformation, because he used to have that long hair, and he was obviously clearly balding, and he shaved it, not completely bald, but, pretty close. And he's lucky where he has this bald man's hairline, where his bald man's, like, hiding his baldness haircut actually looks cool. Like, I think it's a good hiding his baldness haircut. So I think it worked out well. I think he actually looks better with his, his baldness haircut instead of his long hair. So, I think it worked out for him. As far as people I think would look better, I don't know if I don't know if they would actually look better, but the thing that comes to mind to me is that, a balding Sami Callihan also lost a hair versus hair match and shaved his head and looked great. And I was like, that's perfect. That was a perfect way out of that. And then he grew his hair back like a moron. And it's just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, like you lost a hair versus hair match because you're going bald. I understand. Maybe you had a change of heart or something, but I don't know, man. Just let it go. It's okay to just be a bald guy. It's fine. So yeah, I would go with him. In the Discord, the question's from Colette. Since we're heading towards a future where wrestling crowds are going to be at full capacity sooner rather than later, and given the masking and hygiene practices of wrestling fans who are already going to shows, I figured I'd ask, what do you think the smelliest wrestling show of all time was? My money is on ECW One Night Stand 2005. Colette, no AKAs. I think 2005 would probably be, I don't know why you would single out this one show specifically, but I think that would be like probably the height of stinkiness, I think, because you got, this is perfect time for when only nerds were going to like wrestling shows, especially on like a smaller level. And it was before the internet, like, not created, but the internet started, you know, announcing the stereotype of the unwashed wrestler. So you're right in the middle of where you could be peak stinky without anybody really criticizing you for it, because it was just a bunch of stinky people. So I would say, yeah, anything between 2005, 2010, in a, you know, somewhere where there's probably a little ventilation in the summer is probably pretty stinky for, as far as wrestling goes.
Dude, wasn't there like that one Evolve show where like someone shit their pants because it was like 190 degrees inside? That has to be like undoubtedly the stinkiest wrestling event of all time, right?
Yeah, it was a Progress show, and
a Progress. That's right. Yeah. That's right.
The only thing that keeps me from thinking that wasn't too bad. I mean, it was bad, but the only thing that keeps me thinking it couldn't have been that bad is because I think it was like a pretty big venue. If it was a smaller venue, definitely, but. You know, that's only one side was probably the stinkiest side ever, but I think it could have been worse. But yeah, any place in the summer without ventilation should not be running wrestling or really any event, obviously. But people do it, and it's disgusting. So yeah,
maybe the one show recently in the farm that could have been really stinky too, but not because of the fans. I don't know.
Yeah,
anything with poop around, it's going to be a winner for this question, I think. But yeah, I think those were all the questions, right, Mike?
Yep.
Great mailbag this week for sure. If you want to participate, please do so at virtualpros64@gmail.com or hit us on the Discord. 2-man scramble time. Kind of short from me. Who was it? Emilio talked about it, but Soulja Boy and Randy Orton, I think it was a couple of days ago, they got into a Twitter beef. And this all started when Soulja Boy, he tweeted something to the effect of like something, I forget, was faker than WWE.
The rap game.
And rap game. Okay. Yeah, okay, I can see that. And 40-year-old Randy Orton quote tweeted a photo by the NXT UK account, which I'm not even sure what that is, NXT UK. I've never heard of that. I guess they showed some back lacerations or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Randy Orton tagged Soulja Boy in that tweet and then said, and I quote, "Fake, right, at Soulja Boy? By the way, which one of yo baby's mamas do I send the bill to for making you relevant again? I assume they own yo ass, so who's cutting those checks?" Oh, okay, I can see why Emilio thought that Randy Orton was into rap music in 2005. But anyway, this is a learning moment for the Virtual Pros audience. There's some lessons that we can all learn here. One being, you should not argue with younger people on the internet because you'll probably lose. These kids have been doing this out the womb, so you're not going to win that battle. And this is already flawed because Soulja Boy reportedly doesn't even have any kids. And two, you can't talk or type like this as a 40-year-old. Like, I know things on the internet like don't really have a tone. But trying to sound cool as a 40-year-old, people are going to sniff this out. So with that said, Mike, if you had to bring back a 2000s rapper relic to appear in any promotion of your choice in 2021, who are you going with?
Wait, a rapper, you said?
Yeah.
Like just a rapper to be a wrestler or just be in a promotion?
In a promotion. Just to show up. Maybe a one-off. Like a Floyd Mayweather type deal.
In 2000? So
but it has to be like specifically like 2000 through 2006. That'll be the window I give you.
Oof. And that's not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say he's not relevant because he's still relevant in my heart, but I'm going to go with Paul Wall because he was actually in the Twitter news really recently, and you know he was a good sport about it. So I don't think he gets his due. Mike Jones is gone. I like all those Houston guys that were big at the end of right in the mid 2000s. This was like the only kind of rap I liked at that point. And it sucks because all that shit is great and it just like became irrelevant. So So yeah, any of those guys I would choose.
Fuck, man, the People's Champ was my pick, dude. You know what, though? Slim Thug would look so good with that belt. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm still
down with that as well.
I'm still a fan of Slim Thug. I still listen to all of his stuff. Like he's still doing it, so I'm still listening.
Maybe E40 now. If gun to head, I can't have Paul Wall because I think those promos would be pretty incredible. So E40 and Paul Wall, if you're not doing anything, come to Doggo Pro. We have some slots open for you. But anyway, my main topic. I haven't been this excited about wrestling in maybe like a year and a half. It was a pretty big 2 weeks, but I know you're probably going to cover AEW, so I'll leave that to you. But I just wanted to talk about the Stardom show. I thought top to bottom was pretty fucking good, dude. Like, Natsupoi versus AZM. That got its props in the Observer, so that was nice to see, but I thought that match was super good. I thought the Iwatani versus Yoshiko match, like, it was good. It delivered. That dive. Holy shit. Like, my Iwatani is built like a ferret. Like, it's crazy how she can just, like, totally eat shit and then be completely fine, like, a couple seconds later. But I thought that was good. Utami versus the daughter of Hayabusa, maybe. I thought that was solid, and we gotta talk about it. Giulia versus Tam Nakano. There were parts that were kind of boring, but for the most part, this had my attention clearly because someone was going to get their head shaved, and they really did it. They shaved Giulia's head, man, and if anything, she looks even cooler. So overall, this is probably my show of the year. I was so pumped to watch it, top to bottom. It entertained me. So, Mike, what are your overall thoughts about Stardom running their big show?
Pretty much the same thing. I really like the Iwatani Yoshiko match. That's that's kind of my favorite kind of matchup as far my favorite body type matchup. I guess you would go say like definitely like a smaller lanky girl versus a bigger girl and a bigger brutal girl. And it lived up. I don't think, going back to DC's email, I understand saying this type of wrestling peaked in the 90s because I don't think women now are that violent in women's wrestling, and that's probably a good thing for them. So, but I do still like that sort of style. So it was good to see that more kind of violent style in Stardom. And that dive was crazy, and it just made me think of how people are still harping on Matt Hardy bonking his head in that pay-per-view like 5 months ago, and it's just like no one even batted an eye when Iwatani did it. She just got right back up, and it was like no big deal. But I don't know, man. She just like fucking fell right on her head. It was pretty crazy. And the main event, I think the last episode I was still on record as saying that Giulia was going to win. I knew that really wasn't going to happen because it just seems like these two women who really needs their hair a little more than the other. And so, that's another thing that I see on the internet that I get kind of like cringy about is I see a lot of people complaining about like Stardom booking and stuff. And I think if you, no offense to anybody out there, but I think if you're complaining about Stardom booking, you might be a little in too deep. I think you might have to take a step back because, I don't think Stardom is in the business of, heavy booking. I don't think that's what exactly is the thing they're going for. But with that said, though, it's kind of crazy to see Tam Nakano beat, a woman that's pretty much built up as like a world beater. And now, we watched her first baldness match, and it was kind of like a joke match, but she seems like a 100% babyface now, which is kind of weird because there wasn't any explanation. Like, if you get your head shaved, you're still an asshole. Like, I guess she was never like, I guess like no one in Stardom except, I don't know, like B. Priestley's kind of an asshole. Like, I guess Oedo Tai is kind of, they're supposed to be assholes, but I guess no one's like 100% asshole, but I always just looked at her as like a heel more than a person that everybody loves. So now it just seems like everybody loves her. So yeah, it worked out for everybody in the end, I think. So, and yeah, I think, I'm not going to say it's definitely my show of the year, but it's definitely right now, probably my show of the year.
That was my last one for Two Man Scramble.
Yeah, I also didn't have any. I just had some vague topics. The first thing before I forget is I was on Twitter requesting somebody to find me a match that I couldn't find that disappeared from YouTube, and Leon Noel, I don't know if that's his real name. I hope not. I don't want to dox him or anything, but he helped me out. He fucking DM'd me and gave me the whereabouts. And he said he found it through a podcast named Wrestling is Gross. I've never listened to this podcast before, but I checked it out since they are interested in the match that I wanted. And it's a pretty cool podcast if you guys haven't heard it. I think they're like 50 episodes deep, so chances are, if you listen to our podcast, you've probably heard this or at least heard of it at this point. But yeah, it's called Wrestling is Gross, and it's honestly, I guess the best way to describe it, it's like if our mixtape segment was 2 hours long, which probably is not the greatest selling point because I don't think anybody wants to listen to our mixtape segment for 2 hours, but they make it work. They take more concise notes, I guess you would say. But it's pretty interesting. It's, it's normal people. It's not like people using wrestling slang words and talking about people being buried and stuff like that. So it's pretty enjoyable. And those podcasts are few and far between. Even Leon said that's the only other wrestling podcast he listens to. So check it out. Wrestling is Gross. AEW, yeah. So before the pay-per-view, there was a little match with Shaq versus Cody. Shaq and Jade Cargill versus Cody and, Red Velvet. Yeah, bro. I was going to say Velvet Sky, but that's a completely different person. Yeah, Red Velvet. And, boy, did this match deliver. Oh my God. I might go as far as saying this is the greatest celebrity match. I'm not going to say it's the greatest wrestled celebrity match because Shaq was not like doing any crazy shit. And I think like, a Pac-Man Jones might, object to that because I think he's been the overall general consensus, like, best athlete to jump into wrestling and be pretty good at it. I guess now you have Gronk, but I don't think he counts because he probably trained for months. And you have Pat McAfee too, but again, he probably trained a bunch. He wasn't those two guys weren't guys just showing up for like a one-off and leaving, but they made the Shaq match pretty entertaining. I think everybody who saw it was pretty satisfied with it. I definitely was. It even left some mystery they still haven't solved yet. At the end of the match, Shaq gets stretchered away. And they look in the ambulance and he's disappeared and they still haven't said what happened. And I like that because it keeps you on your toes. But Al, I know you tuned in. So what did you think of this match? Or maybe you didn't tune in. I don't know.
I did tune in and I share the same sentiments. It was incredible. Fucking Cody made Shaq eat shit hard on those tables. And I fucking screamed. Like, I didn't think they'd go that hard. But they did. And it was fucking sick. But I will give Jade Cargill her props, man. Like, look at that woman.
Yeah.
She should be fucking winning the G1 this year. I'm so pumped for her. I think she is in my super tier rookies with Jun Akiyama and Kurt Angle and Owen Hart and Bianca Belair. Welcome to the club. I hope to see more of her in the future because she was great. Everything was great about this. I think this has been the funnest time I've had with the AEW was watching this match, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think like Dave Meltzer or somebody said, I think he said it wrong, but somebody in a higher bracket of wrestling journalism said it was her first match ever, but I think they just misunderstood. But I don't think I don't think it was her first match ever, but I don't think she's had a ton of matches, and she's already pretty decent for somebody who's probably had a handful of matches. And, I think WWE missed a big one with her because, she looks amazing. Which is all WWE ever. That's like the first thing they fucking care about. The wrestling could come later. So I think she's going to be a huge, huge star. That was just a great match. That whole episode was pretty good, the Shaq selling the table, which is, what really put it over the top because usually when these dudes do this stuff, they sell, but they're not like going to pretend they're dead. But Shaq literally pretended he was dead after going through those tables. So it was pretty amazing. If you guys have not seen this match, you're really fucking up. It's like 10 minutes long, if that. This is definitely a really good match to watch. It's very entertaining. Obviously the pay-per-view. They had a pay-per-view, AEW Revolution. It happened. It touted an exploding ring match, and it had a controversial ending. And I guess all I really wanted to talk about from the pay-per-view. I thought overall the pay-per-view was pretty good. It wasn't like an all-time slam jam banger home run or anything like that, but there wasn't anything awful on it. It was just all pretty good stuff. And the last match obviously was the barbed wire exploding ring match with Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley. And I would say going into this, I was obviously anticipating this match because I bought this pay-per-view, and I don't think I would have even like entertained the idea of buying it if there wasn't some kind of big gimmick going on. I thought the match itself was pretty good. I think people had kind of mixed feelings about the explosives from the barbed wire that was going off. I think a lot of people were into it because they've seen those matches before and they know to like temper their expectations that it's not going to obviously be that crazy, like, because it's just going to obviously they're not explosives to hurt people. So the ones that pop on the wires, the barbed wire, are always kind of like, they look cool. They might not be that devastating looking though. And there's some other people who are like, oh, those look shitty. And it's just like, it's gonna look shitty because there's no real way to make them look amazing unless you put like they could have used more smoke, that's for sure. If they used more smoke and set them up so they were a little more uneven because they were all kind of like exploding in a line, which made them look a little more fake. But even going into the match, I was just like, man, this is just the same old ring they just used, and there's still people like 8 feet away in seats. There is no fucking way this ring is exploding. So I knew from minute one that either they're going to cop out and they weren't going to explode it, or it was going to be pretty underwhelming. And, the match ends, and it ends before the explosion. So I'm like, that's kind of shitty that they would do that, but it makes sense because there's no way they're ever going to explode this ring. And then they do this thing. They're tying John Moxley up. They're handcuffing him. They're pretending they're leaving him there. And the countdown starts to go. Oh, and Excalibur says there's no way of stopping the bomb, which is, oh my God, dude, come on. Like, this is ridiculous, dude. What is this? They wouldn't even say that in a movie. That's so stupid. So the countdown goes down, and Eddie Kingston comes, he runs out, and he covers John Moxley, like that Onita match where he covers the referee, and then the counter hits 0, and they have like, just like, they have those I guess it depends on what state you live in, but states where fireworks are not illegal, or states where fireworks aren't legal, you can go to Target and buy like legal fireworks, and they're lame. They're fucking for babies. Like, no one buys these things. And so they basically had like legal fireworks taped to the turnbuckles, and then probably some other legal fireworks under the ring. And it just looked like, there's nothing you could paint to make it, like, you can't describe how underwhelming this looked. It looked incredibly underwhelming. And then everybody pretended like it was real, and it was just super duper sad and very disappointing. And I was thinking about it for hours. Not like, I wasn't like upset. There's people on the internet like losing their minds. It's just like, oh my God, man, like, calm down. It's not that big of a deal. It's fucking ridiculous, and it sucks for them. But I was like, so basically I ended up where Tony Khan gave like an excuse that there's, that he basically said shit happens. And he said, what do you want? Like, we can't make these explosives kill people or anything like that. And then they quickly made it into an angle where, Kenny Omega did a goof when he tried to build this exploding ring, and it didn't go off, or maybe he was joking around and blah, blah, blah. Obviously, I don't know if that doesn't seem what they're going for when they're going in. It makes sense, but I don't think that was, the game plan. But, and then there's, Brian Alvarez on the Wrestling Observer Radio is saying that there's no way you can test this stuff, which is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I don't know if he knows this, but there's fireworks shows in every major city in the country on July 4th. Like, they're all over the place, and they're all very choreographed, and they're all crazy, and they go on for hours. And if he thinks just some dudes show up that day and are like, okay, here's the red ones, here's the green ones, it's all going to work out. There's no way we could test this otherwise. Like, what are you fucking thinking, dude? That's their jobs. Like, they have people who, it's their profession to make sure this shit works. Like, that's all they do all year is build up to this one thing. So I gotta think that this is my conspiracy theory, but I think this is kind of like a Montreal Screwjob situation where Tony Khan and like maybe John Moxley and maybe Kenny Omega went into this and they were like, look, man, we hired the fireworks guy. It's just not working out. So it's just going to suck. And we're going to pretend like we don't know nothing about it. And they're just like, okay. And we won't tell anybody. And so I think like they had to know it was going to suck going into it, because it sucked so bad that there's no explanation Like, I think if I answered like a Craigslist ad and they're like, we need somebody to do a job, and I showed up and they're like, hey, can you make this ring explode? And I'd be like, I don't have any experience in this. And I'd just be like, we don't care. We need somebody. You got a month. I think I could figure it out. I think I can make it look good in a month. So the fact that they couldn't find one, like they couldn't hire one person to make this work, just seems ridiculous. It seems like too ridiculous to be true. There's no fucking way. You're telling me they taped 5 legal fireworks to the turnbuckles in Florida, where I think fireworks are legal. Like, Roman candles don't hurt that bad. They use the Roman candles in the fucking all the Hardy videos, and they're the same wrestlers you hired. Like, Roman candles don't hurt. You could even use those and they would look better. But either way, my conspiracy theory is that at least Tony Khan and the higher ups of AEW really did know going into this that was going to look real shitty, because there's no other explanation. I think any teen could have done a better job of making this look like a real explosion. Like, you can test this stuff. So I don't know. Al, what do you think? Do you really think that they set up what they thought was going to be a cool explosion and that was the end result? Like, there was so many duds that somehow it just looked like 2 tiny smoke bombs going off and 4 sparklers. Like, that doesn't happen. It's impossible.
I don't know what to believe anymore after that conspiracy theory, Mike. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the only thing that bothered me about it was I think they try to put it off as Kenny Omega did this on purpose. He's just a bad explosion builder. He drew it with crayons. And someone got a tattoo of that diagram, which is fucking bonkers to me. Yeah, I guess I could buy this theory a little bit, but like, they work in Florida, man, and like, I would think that pyrotechnic experts would be in demand, seeing as like there's Disney World over there.
Yeah, dude, they have pyro on their
Universal
show.
Studios.
They have pyro on their show. Like, you can't tell me somebody could do this bad of a job and no one would know about it. It's impossible. That's my conspiracy. I'm sticking to it. You can't convince me otherwise.
Hey man, that's my podcast partner, Mike, and I ride or die with that guy. So yeah, it was a fix for sure. They knew about it the entire time.
Yep. That's it.
All right. Today's topic, the 2021 Buy, Sell, or Hold episode. Mike and Al give their future forecasts and guidances on what to go all in on and what to sell off in the world of pro wrestling. Please stay tuned.
I go on and on, can't understand how I last so long. I must have superpowers, rap 225,000 hours. Get a calculator, do the math. I made 1,000 songs that made you move your ass. And for the last 300 months, I made 16 albums with me on the front, and they bump. Where you get your beats? I heard 93 rappers say bitch like me. 2 singers and 10 comedians, and I'm still gon' yell it every time you see me in. What's my favorite word? Why they gotta say it like short? You know they can't play on my court, can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the court. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
And we're back with Vrtl Pros, episode 126. Today's topic, it's the Buy, Sell, and Hold episode. I think we did this topic maybe like a year or so ago, and I like the format a lot, and maybe we can just do this quarterly, because it's pretty easy, and I think it's pretty ripe for content. Wrestling's always kind of doing some batshit stuff that we can talk about and shit on or buy in on. So that's the idea. Pretty much, we're going to decide whether or not you should buy, sell, or hold these things in pro wrestling. It could be merch. It could just be angles. It could be any of these things. So I'll start off with my first one. Mike, are you buying, selling, or holding on bald Giulia?
I think I'm going to buy, even though I think her outfit could use some work. But, it was like 2 days after. I'm pretty sure she'll have a cool outfit eventually. But so, yeah, I think I'm going to buy.
I'm buying, but I am a little hesitant because she's going to have that koosh ball phase with her hair.
Yeah.
And it's not going to look great. It happens to everyone that drops the top. Happened to me, and I have a big head, and it was awful. So I do wonder how they're going to get out of that. But once she gets into like pixie hair mode, forget about it. Like to the moon. Like she's going to be just a moneymaker. I think I read that she made them or she helped contribute to their making like $4 million extra last year, which is nuts because I think they made $1 million prior to that. Either way, Giulia's money, Bald Giulia is super money, and we're buying on that one.
My first one is AEW Women's Division. Buy, sell, or hold.
I thought about this. This was mine, so I'll drop mine. You know what? I think I'm gonna buy. I think Jade Cargill. She's gonna be a star. Maki Ito, who I guess I'll lean into next, I suppose. She's gonna be a thing. They're picking up people, and I'm pretty excited about it. So it's not a strong buy, but I'm buying. Go ahead. Yeah,
I'm definitely buying. I think for the last few weeks, it seemed like they actually have their shit together with their women's division. They still don't have a lot of, it's not like they don't have a lot of time. They just don't dedicate a lot of time to the women's division on the main TV show. So still, they're going to have another YouTube show next week. So they're going to have 2 YouTube shows. And then at some point in the future, they're going to have another regular TV show. So hopefully by then they can have this shit settled and people could travel more and they could have their Japanese women's division back. I also thought the tournament they did from Japan, outside of no people being there and it being kind of like creepy because of that, that was really good too. And they should just do that regularly. That should just be a thing that they show for when they could have crowds at least. But yeah, I'm definitely buying on that.
A perfect lead-in, Maki Ito in AEW, buy, sell, or hold.
I'm going to hold just because I think I think her stock is as high as it's going to go. I don't think it's going to get higher. I think, but it's hard to tell too. I think it's going to be completely different when there's a crowd there. I don't think, like when AEW first started, Dave Meltzer was saying he didn't think Orange Cassidy was going to work. And I was like, you're nuts, man. That's going to be a big thing. I'm not so sure about Maki Ito. I think there's still a good portion of that crowd that wasn't already familiar with her that probably is not going to be into the idol thing and all that shit. I don't think that translates to as big of a crowd as AEW is. I think it'll get some more traction, but I don't think it would make a big enough difference in my portfolio for me to go all in and buy on.
I'm going to go sell. I think this is going to be a GameStop meme stock thing where you're right. I don't think it's going to get any higher than this. I do like her character a lot as a lovable loser. I think that fits in pretty perfectly into the AEW roster. But I don't really see her doing anything else besides this. Like, it's not going to get higher than this, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I'm on a sell mode right now.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Overall, interesting. I think I had sold last year on New Japan, and I'm going to keep on selling, man. Those main events are getting fucking tired, and I don't know. Who have they made in the past year or two? Jay White?
Yeah.
I don't fucking care. I'm selling.
Yeah, man, it's weird. I think I'm going to sell too. I think you could say that it was 4 or 5 years ago is when like it started rising to the peak. And they haven't made really. They had made Jay White since then. That's about it. Everybody else, Hiromu too. He was just starting when that was happening, or just coming back when that was happening. But outside of that, yeah, it's a lot of duds. It's been a lot of duds since then. They just don't turn over wrestlers fast enough. There's a lot of people. Like I'll think about people that I usually see tweeting on Twitter, and they're just not even talking about wrestling anymore because they were like New Japan people, and they're just like fucking over it. And so, yeah, I think if you still have any stock in New Japan, I do think it's time to sell it for sure.
I did kind of hesitate into moving that as a hold because they do have the AEW thing, like kind of in the back pocket. I mean, for true. each promotion. So even then, I still do think I'm on record as saying is like, you should have done this 3 years ago if you could. Yeah. Whenever AEW started, it'd have been way hotter. But yeah, I'm on sell mode. My next one, of course, wrestling trading cards, buy, sell, or hold.
I think I would buy for now. I don't think it's tough because wrestling trading cards don't have the profitability of other trading cards, and this, at least a good section of this is going to die off once everything is open again. And, But wrestling cards also don't start at retail as much as all the other cards do. So I think it's a safe, easy, fun way to collect autographs. And I think I would almost put autographs on my list, and then I didn't. I think autographs I've always thought they were kind of overrated, but I think it's a fun way to do it. You're not waiting in line like a weirdo paying $50. Like, it's like a fun gamble to get an autograph. So I would keep it. I don't think anybody's gonna become a fucking millionaire buying wrestling trading cards, but I think cards are back enough where it could be a fun thing, even if they're not gonna make you a millionaire. So I'm gonna buy.
Speaking of which, where's your Jesse Kamea card? Where'd you put that?
It fell over, but it's on my podcast desk and it's leaning against my piece of the all-in canvas that I still own and haven't raffled off yet.
Of course I'm going to go buy on this. Holy shit, dude. There's an Eddie Guerrero 1998 Topps card autographed that sold for $1,000. That's insane. Lawrence Taylor, his card, I think it sold for $200 raw, not even graded. Right now, empty those 401ks. I'm not a financial advisor, by the way. I'm not a financial advisor. But, yeah, I would do it. I don't know. It seems crazy. Cards are back, baby. I'm buying.
My next one is, since we just did New Japan, Noah, the wrestling promotion, Noah.
I am gonna hold, I think, just because New Japan seems like it's on the downslope, and there needs to be a number one. Why not Noah? Even though I saw Keiji Muto hit, honestly, one of the saddest backspring moonsaults, elbows I've ever seen. That was fucking horrific to watch. But I think they have enough horses to, like, possibly get there and be popular both in Japan and America. So I'm going to say hold. I'm not going to go full buy, but I think it's at least a possibility. I'm
definitely going buy. This seems to be, every time I look at Twitter, just like all this, I see the people not talking about New Japan. I see more and more people talking about Noah. I'm personally not sold, but if I was going to put actual stock in anything, it would probably be Noah, because I think it's going to go up. Muto's very old and bad, but it gets people talking and it gets people watching and it gets people into their other wrestlers that aren't Muto. So yeah, I'm going to buy. I think I think it's going to be the new kind of, I don't know if it's going to reach the kind of doggo levels as New Japan did, but I think it's going to be the dominant, pro wrestling promotion for, Americans to be watching in Japan.
I only put this on my list because I haven't heard the New Jack drop in a while. So, Mike, buy, sell, or hold on independent wrestling in America.
I unfortunately lost the New Jack drop. So I can't play it. I can play this, though.
Jacking off stuff.
But no, I had one that I was thinking about doing, and then I kind of ruined another one, but I would definitely sell. I think even like a lot of people showed how scummy they were, which is kind of like shitty, but beyond that, I think AEW and WWE did such a good job of not only signing all of the people that were main eventing independent shows before the pandemic, but they're fucking signing people that are opening independent shows that were going to be like the main eventers in 4 years. So I think it's going to be like pretty dead. Once there's crowds, it's going to be the same 5 people trying to take fucking 7 shows a week because they're going to be the only people that have any kind of drawing power. And I doubt these promoters that do these big promotions are going to be like, oh, let's lower our prices. Let's lower our ticket prices. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think, after that initial kind of surge of people being like, we could go do stuff, I think independent wrestling is going to be pretty quiet for a few years. So definitely sell.
I want to say hold. I think there's a term called the dead cat bounce, where something just fucking is so dead that it kind of just rises back up. But I don't really see it just because there's no prospects in the farm for me to get pumped about. So as of now, I guess I'm sell, but I don't know. Hopefully something good happens to it, even though I don't really see that happening. Because like you said, everyone's getting snatched up
Yeah,
And
I think these, maybe not so much AEW, because AEW seems to do a good job of finding people that like were on nobody's radar, but WWE was for a minute just signing anybody that had like 7 retweets of like, this guy's the best guy, and if like 10 people retweeted it, then like WWE signed him. So I don't know. This kind of leads into, at least in my head, into my next one, which was podcasts and non-wrestling media, basically. So like Twitch channels, streaming, YouTube things, podcasts, all that stuff. Buy, sell, or hold.
I would say buy, because no one's really doing shit right now. Like, everyone's inside. So, I mean, I know for sure, like, I've picked up my podcast habits. By the way, if you guys want a good podcast to listen to, wrestling related, check out the Card Foundation podcast. They run a pretty good show about wrestling cards, if you didn't catch that. But yeah, I think my consumption with stuff like podcasts and Twitch, I watch a lot these days as well, with people opening cards. I would buy in on, but I do think like there needs to be a change where someone needs to shake up the format, with things that they're streaming. And I think that'll happen soon. I think people will get kind of bored of seeing, the same old shit. So I'm a buy. I'm a light buy on that.
Yeah, I'd keep meaning to check out that Card Foundation. Maybe tomorrow I'll make a note to check it out tomorrow. But yeah, I think on top of what Al said, but going back to the last one, I think people will just be more into hearing about old shit again, because it's like there's not going to be nothing new going on after the pandemic's done. Wrestling's going to be a little stale, so people are going to be reminiscing again. And yeah, this pandemic has blossomed like a lot of Twitch channels. I mean, even by wrestlers, like Effie does one. Not so great commentator Kevin Gill has one with Ron Funches. Like, just a bunch of people, wrestling people have them, and Jeff Cannonball, I think, is getting into it. Like, and he does his soda reviews, and so people still like wrestlers, and it's easier to see them on the internet. So I would buy on this. I think the non-wrestler wrestling media is gonna be kind of a hot commodity.
My last one, AEW continuing its tactic in signing washed WWE guys. Buy, sell, or hold.
Oof, that's a tough one. Because every time I'm like, this got to be it. They gotta not do. They've run out. They're all gone. But then they find Christian somewhere, and then it's like, Kurt Angle's coming. That's another one. So, I'm gonna hold on this, because it seems like, the shine is coming off of AEW. This explosion thing happened. Their show yesterday had fucking the NBA channel running through a whole entire match. Things are falling apart. So I think maybe they'll like open the internet and be like, wow, a lot of people hate that there's a literal old person for every new person. And people don't even care about Christian. So I'm going to hold, because I don't think they're going to stop doing it. But I don't think anybody's going to love it anymore. They've kind of even ruined Sting. So yeah, hold on that.
I'm a sell, just because that Christian reveal was such a huge fart that they have to think that, like, this is not the way to do it. Like, and who have they really, aside from Moxley, I suppose, like, they haven't really elevated any washed WWE guys. If anything, like, they made him even more of a bum. Like, Rusev, like, what happened to that guy? He's a gamer? Like, forget about it. That guy's, it's over for him. Sean Spears? Come on, man.
Sean Spears, you can tell, like, I don't know who, I guess Sean Spears convinced them that he would be good, but that guy is obviously, like, you look at him and he has zero charisma. Rusev, I'm going to give a pass to, because I think he said on some podcast, like, he started with WWE, so he doesn't even know how to do a promo, because they don't do promos. They do, like, scripts there. So I don't think he wanted to jump into being a main event guy, but I think they're going to elevate him. They can't not. He's like a fucking huge jack dude who's intense and has like a great personality. They would be morons not to. I just think they'll let him get his grounding, and he's going to slowly lose this gamer persona, I think.
Did you have any more? Because that was my last one.
My last one was mostly cinematic matches, little gimmick matches in there too, but for the most part, cinematic matches. You're going to buy, sell, or hold this. It's proven to be effective in most cases, but the pandemic is ending. There's going to be crowds. What do you think? Is this going to continue, or do you think it's just, this is the end?
I'm going to go buy, just because wrestlers are getting older and they're becoming more washed, obviously, and people in wrestling like old people, I suppose. So I guess to cover for the oldness in these wrestlers that are getting up there in age, they got to keep this going. They kind of made their bed and like painted themselves into a corner to do these things. So, I mean, don't be surprised if Randy Orton 5 years from now is just going to be wrestling on like a freeway or something, because that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold, because I don't want them to go away, but I do think in the short term, once everything's cool and there's live crowds again, I don't think we're gonna see cinematic matches. I don't think we're gonna see gimmick matches. They're gonna be like, we don't have to do any of this shit anymore. We could just take it easy and just wrestle, not do any bells and whistles. So I think in the short term, but I do think you're right in the long term. Anytime they want to, like, I mean, Hogan's been sniffing to have a match for fucking a decade since he retired. So there's no reason he can't be in a cinematic match at WrestleMania this year or something like that. So I think they're going to continue, but just maybe not as often as now.
Well, that was our buy, sell, and hold episode. We might do this again in 3 months. I really like the format. But up last is the world famous mixtape with Dancing Doll, Sakura Hirota, Tony Atlas, John Cena, and Dan Severn. Please stay tuned.
Okay, we're back here on Virtual Pros episode 126. This is our mixtape segment. Each episode we pick a couple matches each off of YouTube, and we put them on a playlist, which you can find on YouTube by either searching Virtual Pros Mixtape or subscribing to us on YouTube, which is just VRTL Pros. My first match of the night is, sorry, I closed it out. There we go. It is Dancing Baby Sakura Hirota versus Toshi Uematsu from Gaia, 1999. So my worst fear happened, which I knew what was going to happen going into this, but it's mostly a comedy match. So I was like, I'm going to look down at the end of the match and look at my notes and see I don't have a lot. And that's what happened, since it's more of a comedy match. But so Gaia uploaded this, to their YouTube channel like this week. And I watched the first 10 seconds of it. And I was like, there is no way I'm not doing this match on the show. And there's a few other people who also recommended it to be on the show too. So we're on the same wavelength there. But basically Sakura Hirota, which I don't know her history of, I only know her from doing comedy matches. She forever is wrestling the Iger, who's been on the show before. So I think she's like a comedy wrestler. I don't know for sure, but I've only seen her in those. The match begins. She is in, the first viral meme ever was a dancing baby from the show Ally McBeal from the late 90s. And, I don't even know if it's a thing you could explain anymore if no one knows what this is, but somebody made this like computer generated animated baby and it just became a thing. It became the first viral meme. This just unexplained thing. And I don't know if that was hitting in 1999 Gaia and they couldn't get enough of it, or they were just like, I don't know, this is a thing to capitalize on, like Napoleon Dynamite just doing it for a fad, or Sakura Hirota really like the dancing baby. But either way, she is dressed from head to toe as this dancing baby. So when the video fades in, she is in the pose of the dancing baby with her arm up in the air and her other arm down to the side. when full baby costume with her face painted to match the complexion, and just, it's very creepy and cool. And I was just like, there is no way I'm not going to do this match because this is too much. And I didn't even watch the rest of it after that. But then I watched the rest of it. And honestly, all you need to see is this, the first like full minute to minute and a half of this match is just amazing. And they aren't even wrestling yet. So basically, like I said, it opens with her in this costume and it's just so ridiculous. And they show Toshi Uematsu, and you see her. At first, she's kind of laughing, but she just looks disgusted by it that she has to wrestle this woman in this fucking dancing baby costume. It's so good. Her face is so good. And then they go back and show Hirota again. And somebody in the crowd says something. Obviously, I don't understand it, but they say something, and she turns back at them and scowls at them in this ridiculous outfit. It's the cover art to this episode. And I've watched that part of the clip like 5 times and laughed every single time because it's just such a good scowl when she turns around. I wish I knew what the guy was saying, but it's pretty great. After that, this is it's comedy, but it's not like American comedy where they're not really doing moves. They're still doing pretty rough moves for a comedy match. So it's interesting to watch too. Outside of that, the only like real comedy bit that happens that's hilarious is that Hirota at one point does like the Grand Nanawa crab walk on the ropes, but instead of doing the crab walk on the second rope, she just does the dancing baby dance across the entire rope. It's fucking amazing. And it's great. Like I said, I don't know the relevance of the dancing baby in Japan, if it was a huge thing there too, and they were just capitalizing on it, or if the people in the audience were like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but why is she dressed like this? I don't know, but it's an amazing time capsule of a time of remembering the first internet meme, and seeing a great wrestling match out of it. And this is a good match outside of the comedy. So it's a definite recommend if you are only into like, or not only into, but only really know of like American comedy wrestling, because this is pretty good.
Yeah, not much else to add. I fucking lost it when she did the dance, like the baby gif that we all saw like in the mid to late 90s on GeoCities. That was fucking incredible. And I think I've seen Hirota's work in other promotions. She's been around for a minute. I want to say she's like been there since the mid 90s, the golden years. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I even though it was a comedy match, they are laying into each other pretty hard. Like, I think at the beginning, Uematsu, like, hits her with a knee in the head pretty square, just to, like, kind of stop laughing about the whole thing. It did run a little long, and it kind of made Uematsu look a little bad because, like, she had to use the entire repertoire to beat this gif. Essentially. But yeah, this made me laugh pretty hard, and they did such a good job with Hirota wrestling as the dancing baby from 1998. It's pretty sweet. My first clip of the night is titled John Cena in China, Fine Dining from Mobile Food Carts. So as a New Yorker, Mike, please regale me with some of your best mobile food cart experiences.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really ever have bad ones. I mean, some are bad. I probably think about this too much, man, but there's this one job I had, where my office was, and there was just like a no-name food cart, and man, I don't know what that guy used for his cheesesteaks, but they were so fucking good, and I miss those cheesesteaks so much. And they weren't like, when people were like, oh, you gotta have the bread and blah, 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 like, sometimes you don't have to have that shit. You just have to have a little love. And that's what that man had. He had a little love. After that, my other office before I moved was near like this semi-known like Indian food cart. And it was really good, but like obviously during lunchtime the line was crazy, so I would get it like to go like for dinner or something like that. But so it was pretty sweet being near one of those. So yeah, I'm a big food cart guy. That's one of the things I really miss about New York is not being like, I don't know what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. Let me just go buy some chicken and rice for $6 and that'll be my dinner. Like I don't have that here. So, I do miss it.
Dude, tell me why halal guys, being commercialized and having like pop-up franchises and those franchises being complete ass. That has to be one of the biggest bummers ever, like in fast food history, right?
Yeah, I think there's some management issues, and one guy wanted to do it and the other guy didn't or something. So obviously it's never going to work out, but it kind of sucks because I don't know if that really hurts their business as being like a tourist thing that's actually good. I think my friend Dave, who sometimes listens, but I think he confirmed that they kind of changed even their original shit where their hot sauce, which is what they're known for, is kind of turned into garbage after a while too. So I don't know. It is a travesty though, because it's such a native food to New York City. Like everybody fucking eats it, and it should be a thing everywhere, and it's just not. So they kind of fucked it up.
There was a bootleg halal, guys, when I worked in the city in San Francisco, and like they almost got it right, but it was never like that good. So, damn, what a moment in time halal, guys, was. I feel like. But anyway, this pick was inspired by a video, and I wasn't sure whether or not we watched it on the mixtape, but we had to have talked about it, I think, between you and I. It's a clip from WWE's old show, Confidential, I think it's called, where Eddie Guerrero and John Cena, they're eating in Malaysia, and like it's pretty fucking legendary. John Cena, he has like his Boston accent heavy. He's wearing a hieroglyphics tee, and they're eating things like shark fin soup. If you haven't seen it already, just find it on YouTube because it's great. But anyway, we're watching John Cena eating here in China on location. So anytime I see that, I'm going to tune in. John Cena, he orders 3 lamb skewers and popcorn chicken in Mandarin. And to me, that's pretty impressive that John picked up a language that I think is like at the top of everyone's lists when it comes to like the hardest languages one could learn. And at such a late age, like it's pretty remarkable. So kudos to you, John. But with that said, the cashier, he or she tries to hand the change back to John, but he refuses. And I actually wasn't familiar with tipping etiquette in China because I've never been there. But since, Mike and I, virtual pros, we're here to put you on game. Tipping isn't expected in China, so don't do this. I bet she was pretty offended. So John Cena's final order in this video, it's pretty good. I mean, I like lamb skewers and popcorn chicken, very solid picks. But the thing that caught me off guard pretty hard is that his handler in the video, or whoever this is, they ran across the street, and they got John Cena a milk tea with what John Cena calls bobo. He meant boba. And this was filmed 3 years ago. So this is kind of like a glaring botch from John Cena because boba, to me at least, has been popular in America for like 2 decades now. So my final thought was, what do you think was the last new fast food item John Cena has eaten? Like, do you think it's like Arch Deluxe? That was my guess. He's like a pretty like healthy dude. But to not know what boba is in 2018 is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, man. I remember I saw that thing before he was famous. There was a documentary on like, I don't know, the biography channel or something about that promotion he came from when he was the prototype. And they were like, this guy's going to be the next guy. And they showed a picture of him and he was just fucking even more jacked than he is now. And that was like the early 2000s. So yeah, I think the Arch Deluxe is a little too early. He might have had like, what was out back then? That might have been around the time of the triple burgers. I think Wendy's came out with like a triple bacon burger or something like that. So that might have been like the last fast food he had was like the triple bacon burger and maybe just without buns. But yeah. Yeah, I kind of had the same notes, but, I feel like at this point I have seen John Cena in China videos 4,000 times. Did he make a movie or there? He's just always hanging out there. Do you know? Does anybody know?
I think they were on tour there. I think that's when he debuted like that new finisher where he crosses his arms like New Jack when he's about to dive off and then he does that punch. But I think they were just on tour there. But I mean, like, I know he's learning Mandarin so he could go into that market, but I don't think he's had an official movie released there yet. Okay, so yeah, he must have filmed a lot of videos during that period or something. But yeah, he's learning Mandarin, so I'm just thinking he's fucking vacationing there now. He's there for months at a time. Because like you said, he just speaks perfect Mandarin and orders his shit.
You also, while he's ordering, you get a nice peek into John Cena's bald spot, which maybe they should have cut out. Maybe they should have did some censoring there. But you're letting the magic go, John. But it's nice of him. And like Al said, here's a man who's just chilling in China and loves it, and he learned Mandarin, and he's ordering street meat, which is not on a lot of people's lists, no matter what country you're in. You could be in fucking America. And if you're going to New York for the first time, you're probably not going to dive into the Chinatown tripe carts or anything like that. I don't think you're going to do that. So, like, here's a man, just eating street meat in China, speaking Mandarin, never had boba tea. It's fucking super weird because, like Al said, this has been a thing that's been in America for 20 years. It's been in malls. It's not like it's been underground or anything. Like, this is a thing you can buy in malls. And he travels the country all the time. Obviously, it's not like a health food, but you would think a guy that knows this much about Chinese culture would have maybe at least known what it was, because he seems like this is a total foreign thing to him. So that is definitely the highlight and the strangest part of the video for sure. My last one of the night is a recommendation. I think it's from Johnny. It's Tony Atlas versus Onita. ICW 1990. I did not know this existed. ICW, there's a promotion that I watched when I was in, back then, called IWCCW. And I think they're related or they're the same promotion or something like that because they have all the same people. So maybe I saw this match when I was a little kid. Maybe I'm like Al when he watched Rey Mysterio when Al was 8 years old and he was checking out AAA and saying that Mosquito guy, he's going to be big one day. Maybe I was like that with Onita, and I don't remember because I was too little, but maybe it was like that Japanese guy, Onita. He's going to be a guy someday, but I don't know. So this clip starts with a man named Tony Rumble speaking to another man. I might have said this on the show before, but since I watched this when I was little, there was a rapper at the time, a white rapper, obviously, because Tony Rumble's white, named Tony D, and he had a song called Check the Elevation. And it was not very popular, but some people know it if you're of a certain age and was really into rap music. And I thought he was Tony Rumble, and Tony Rumble just didn't want people to know he was a wrestling guy, so he changed his name to Tony D. And I thought that for a really long time. And it's pretty strange to think about now, because I wasn't that young, but I guess I was young enough to be that stupid, I guess. There's a lot of racism right off the bat. He says it once in the beginning, and then he's on commentary and he says it a lot. A lot of racism. Unfortunately, life has canceled Tony Rumble, so no one else could cancel it because he's dead now. So,
good.
Yeah, it didn't work out for Tony Rumble in the long run. The manager of Tony Atlas in IWCCW, Tony Rumble managed Tony Atlas, but here he has a different manager. And this guy has quite the fit. I don't even know what to call this. This is like prime. You could have only worn this outfit between 1988 and 1990. It's not even anything I could describe in words. You guys need to see this dude's outfit. It's just like I said, it just looks like a dude who probably sold cocaine or did a lot of it in that time period. It's just like huge shoulders, very like weird shaped jacket, weird pants, weird shoes. Everything about it just screams that time period. There's so great Muda. Onita is doing his great Nita thing here where has a face paint on. No explanation of this because they probably just told him it got over. They probably told him Great Muda got over, so he was gonna do that. He does mist right off the bat. That's a good move. Just get right out of the way. Just do it immediately. Also, this match is title for title, FMW title for ICW title. So obviously, this doesn't end up with a good finish because I don't think anybody remembers FMW champion Tony Atlas. So obviously it's gonna be a fucking bullshit finish. So I guess, Onita was like, oh, let me get that missed out because it's definitely not going to be the finish of this match. So that's cool that he gets it right out the bat. Then he spends a lot of the match doing a fucking sleeper claw hold, like this the worst move I think I've ever seen in wrestling. This is the fucking most awful move. And he does it. And then he stops for a minute and he goes back to doing it. And it's just like, dude, no one likes this. This move is terrible. No one watched this match and decided to do that move because it's fucking awful. I don't know if he always did that, but it sucked. These guys, I don't think were on the right page. Obviously, I don't think Tony Atlas is fluent in Japanese and maybe Onita didn't speak any English. But I know Onita was in Mexico, so maybe they could have did some Spanish. I don't know, but they seem to be like all out of sync. There's a part where Onita's supposed to spray mist and Tony Atlas is supposed to duck and hit the ref, and that's what ends the match. And like, there's this weird hesitation about it, and you can see they don't know what's going on. It's just very bad. This match is fucking terrible. It's, you know, it's a cool thing to watch if you're into racism in the beginning, or you're just into like a real bad move that happens. But, it's you know, a weird curiosity that these two guys wrestled. But yeah, this is one of the worst matches I've ever seen.
Who suggested this match again, Mike?
John. Yeah.
Okay, I'll write that one down. As a fan of Northeastern accents, yeah, this guy, he has an accent I've never heard before. So any Massachusetts residents, can you confirm, like, what part of MA this, accent, like, originated from? VirtualPros64@gmail.com. But yeah, Tony Atlas, black do-rag, black robe, with the champ bedazzled on the back, and he has tiger stripe pants. That is unreal. That's a great look. That should, come back in 2021. Not much else to add wrestling-wise. Onita, I'm surprised you didn't mention this, but Onita, he gives Tony Atlas a low blow. And then Tony Atlas, he does one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, like, on the Virtual Pros mixtape in wrestling ever. He limps to the corner, and the video quality isn't great, but he looks like he's rubbing his balls on the middle turnbuckle, like Rick Rude, hip swivel style. And I was like, I guess that's one way to get rid of, like, balls pain. But, like, usually, like, if you get hit in the balls, like, you wait for a little bit, and you're like, fuck, and then you, like, squat. But Tony Atlas just rubbed his dick on the middle turnbuckle.
Maybe he hit him so hard his ball went into his body, and he was trying to get the ball out.
He just tried to shift it back downwards with the Hiroshi Hase hip swivel into the middle turnbuckle. Yeah. That's cool. Okay, I buy that. That's fine. Well, yeah, this was a decent curiosity match, or watch, I guess. But the commentary is pretty tasteless. It's pretty rough. I didn't like it one bit. The last match of the night, to continue the racism tip, is Dan Severn versus Yoshihiro Tajiri, NWA 624 1995. I had no idea that this match existed. So, like, I almost yelped when I saw the title for this match, and I added it immediately, naturally. This match takes place on a high school football field, fucking quarter-mile track around the grass, the whole 9 yards, Varsity Blues style. And, like, I know I'm in for a good time. And the clip, it starts off with Tarzan Goto. He's sitting cross-armed, and he's scouting his opponent for the upcoming Kawasaki Dream Show, aka King of the Death match. So this match, like, actually has a little more depth than the match we all saw 20 years ago. I didn't know there was a backstory to Dan Severn versus Tarzan Goto. And we get OG green underwear Tajiri, and he gets one of the biggest jabroni entrances I've ever seen. He's walking through the aisleway in front of the bleachers that the fans are sitting in. And it's bad enough that the announcer for this show, he spoils the ending before the match even starts. But, I don't know. Like, I guess it's New Jersey, 1995. I would assume that they don't really care about the presentation of the foreign guy that they brought in, I suppose. I don't know. This is branded as an Ultimate Fighting Rules match, so my excitement for this match escalates even more. As Severn, at this time, he is, like, mauling people in the UFC. Like, he's handing out, like, German suplexes to, like, 130-pounders. Like, he's, like, turning Oleg Toktarov's face into hamburger meat with knees. So I'm like, I know it's not going to happen here, but, like, I'm pretty pumped for it. But during the match, they're wrestling, and 1995 is a simpler time. So I'm not shocked when the crowd chanted shrimp fried rice at Tajiri. I was not surprised at all, and that's so fucked up. And I think in 2021, Japan should get revenge for this. So for all the vert bags out there in the Far East, chant hamburgers at all the American wrestlers that come out, or Twinkies, any of those things. See how they like it, you know what I mean? Fair is fair. But anyway, match-wise, I thought it was pretty good. Tajiri is not slapping thighs in 1995, but his kicks look super crisp. And Dan Severn is like in peak smothering mode. And, for an Ultimate Fighting match, quote unquote, there's no gore, but I thought it was a pretty entertaining watch overall. What'd you think?
Yeah, as Al said in the beginning, the first thing you see is Tarzan Goto sitting in this folding chair in this field. And it's uncomfortably too long. They are announcing how whoever wins this match he's going to wrestle them in Japan and for FMW, I think. I think it's FMW. And, but they're just showing him this whole time, and you can see there's camera people around him. They don't look Japanese. You can't really see their faces, but I don't know who's filming this and why. This is just some bozo wrestling in a field. So I'm just wondering if there was this looked better in Japanese magazines, maybe this was just a feature in the weekly wrestling magazine or something. And that's why they had all this fanfare for it. Cause obviously this crowd doesn't give a fuck. So it's just a weird thing to try and make this look like an important thing when it's the surroundings don't scream importance. So it's kind of crazy. And as Al said, I definitely perked up a lot once they said this is going to be under Ultimate Fighting rules. I just assumed they just said that and they weren't going to do anything that even resembled that, which is not, it's half true, half not. So, it's still more than I thought. Also, if you guys aren't familiar with Dan Severn over the years, because I think he's finally at the point where he's too old and just no one cares anymore. But for a very long time, his whole deal was that when he did these matches, he would walk out with people or persons or just one person holding all of his championships. And he did this up until 4 years ago. He's still doing this shit. But in this one, he has an old woman bodyguard that's doing it. It's kind of strange. I think they say her name. I think they say her name is Phyllis or something. So she even has an old woman name. Strange choice to be your belt handler for the night, but maybe that's just a woman who worked in the box office of this field house or something. And, they're just yeah, you want to be in the show? I don't know, but just a strange choice. And yeah, even though they said UFC rules and I had my doubts about it, then they start doing some real ass wrestling, not pro wrestling, wrestling. They're doing all the fucking reversals and takedowns and shit. And it's pretty crazy to see this high level of wrestling in front of some yokels, just in a field, that obviously don't give a shit, because at one point you can hear somebody say boring. And this match is only 3 minutes long. So, this dude was immediately bored by this. I don't know what the fuck could have been on this shitty show that was any cooler than what these guys were doing. And I don't even really love this stuff that much, but they were doing some high level actual wrestling instead of just 1995 independent yokel wrestling and people just throwing punches and doing body slams. So it's probably pretty crazy at the time. But yeah, overall it's a pretty good match for being so short and being slightly racist and taking place in a field in New Jersey. But I also think this said it was uploaded 11 years ago or something. I think this has been on YouTube chilling for many years. So it's pretty crazy that no one else really came across this. I'm sure somebody out there is I came across that years ago, but yeah, I've just never come across this match. Dan Severn in peak condition against rookie Tajiri is quite a match. So yeah, definitely recommend it, even if it's just a few minutes long.
That was episode 126 of the World Champion Sound, sort of. I promise we'll have a mic soon on my end. What am I doing here? Instagram, Twitter, VRTL Pros. Hit us on iTunes and Spotify if you want to participate. If you want to suggest any matches for the mixtape, hit us at virtualpros64@gmail.com. Mike, any last words?
Hey, thanks for listening. Check out Pain Pigs on Monday, 9 o'clock on Twitch at VRTL Pros.
See you guys in 2 weeks.